So here's a fact you need to know. Most women don't even know what they want until it's standing right in front of them. And that's exactly what this video is about. Today, we're breaking down how to attract any woman, even the one who swears she's not interested. Because let's be honest, her lack of interest isn't always real. Sometimes it's just a test. Welcome back to the channel, where we teach men how to move with power, clarity, and purpose, especially in their interactions with women. If you've ever felt like you weren't her type, or that she didn't give you a chance from the start, this video is your blueprint to flipping that dynamic on its head. We've been fed a lie for years, that attraction is instant, and if she doesn't like you right away, there's no hope. But here's the controversial truth. Women are far more influenced by how you carry yourself than how you look, what you have, or even what you say. Confidence, unpredictability, emotional control, these aren't just traits, they're triggers. Triggers that make her start second-guessing the story she told herself about you. The average man accepts rejection at face value. A man of substance knows how to approach, how to read the situation, and how to shift her perception without begging for attention. If she's cold, that's fine. If she says she's not interested, even better. You're about to find out how to make her interested by showing up in a way she's not used to. And the beauty of this? It doesn't require cheesy pickup lines or being someone you're not. So before you assume she's out of your league, or that her disinterest is permanent, understand this. You just haven't approached her the right way yet. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to do it. Let's break it down. 1. Ignore her beauty, study her behavior. The first mistake most men make when approaching a woman is giving her power just because she looks good. And let's be clear, beauty alone means absolutely nothing. Every guy is chasing her because of how she looks, but very few are paying attention to how she acts. That's where you win. You see, when you ignore her beauty and focus on her behavior, you put yourself in control. You stop reacting to her looks, and you start reading her energy. Is she respectful? Does she listen when you speak? Is she kind to people who can't do anything for her? These are the things that actually matter. But most men miss them because they're too busy being hypnotized by her face or her body. Women are used to getting instant validation. So when you're the guy who doesn't give her that, it throws her off. She starts wondering why you're not falling all over her like everyone else. That curiosity, that confusion, that's attraction being built in real time. She becomes interested in you because you didn't follow the script. Here's the truth. If you judge a woman only by her appearance, you'll end up with a pretty headache. But if you evaluate how she behaves, you'll know if she's worth your time, energy, and effort. This is how men of value separate themselves from the crowd. Let's say you walk into a lounge and there's a stunning woman sitting at the bar. Instead of rushing over to compliment her looks, you take a seat near her and observe. You notice how she treats the waiter. She's rude, doesn't say thank you, talks about herself constantly. Now ask yourself, does that kind of woman deserve your attention? Most men would ignore the red flags just to get a chance with her. But you walk away. That's real strength. That's real power. When you stop putting beauty on a pedestal, you start making smarter choices. And ironically, the moment you stop reacting to her looks, that's when she starts reacting to you. Let the other guys worship her face. You study her character. 2. Act like you're the prize, not her. If you want to instantly change how women respond to you, flip the mindset. Stop approaching women like they're doing you a favor by talking to you. Stop acting like she's the prize you have to win over. She's not. You are. This is one of the biggest mindset shifts men need to make, but very few do. Why? Because we've been conditioned to believe that women hold the value and we have to earn their attention. From childhood, movies, media, even music, all of it glorifies women and puts men in the position of begging, chasing, proving. But when you move through the world with that mindset, women sense it instantly. And the truth is, they don't respect it. Not even the good ones. When you believe you're the prize, everything about your energy changes. You don't overthink your words. You don't try too hard to impress. You don't need constant validation or reassurance. You simply show up, grounded, certain, and focused on what you bring to the table. And guess what? That kind of energy is magnetic. Women are drawn to men who value themselves. It's not about arrogance, it's about standards. When you carry yourself like a man who has options, who knows his worth, and who doesn't get impressed by surface-level beauty, you instantly set yourself apart from the average guy. You're not chasing her, you're seeing her and deciding if she fits into your life. Most guys walk into a conversation thinking, I hope she likes me. But when you flip it to, let's see if I like her, that small internal shift changes the entire dynamic. It puts you in the position of power, not because you're playing games, but because you know you have value too. And don't confuse confidence with performance. You don't need to act extra alpha, talk louder, or show off. That's not self-worth, that's insecurity in disguise. Real self-worth is quiet. It's steady. It doesn't need to prove anything because it already knows. Here's the harsh truth. Women are constantly approached by men who think they're lucky just to get her attention. So when you walk in with the mindset that you're the catch, she notices. She may not say it out loud, but she feels it. And she'll start trying to prove herself to you instead of the other way around. This isn't about ego. It's about balance. Stop putting her on a pedestal she didn't earn. The minute you treat yourself like the prize, the game changes. 3. Approach without needing her to like you. One of the biggest shifts a man can make when dealing with women is learning how to approach without needing anything in return. No approval, no validation, no immediate response. Because the truth is, the more you need her to like you, the more you give away your power without even realizing it. Most guys walk up to a woman with a hidden agenda. They want something from her, whether it's her number, her interest, or just her attention. And she can feel that. It's subtle, but it's real. Women are extremely intuitive when it comes to picking up on energy, especially insecure or needy energy. And when you're carrying that mindset of, I hope she likes me, it puts her in the position of control right from the start. You've probably felt it yourself. That tension, that pressure to say the right thing, that overthinking that kicks in because you want the interaction to go a certain way. All of that comes from one source, attachment to outcome. You're trying to manage her response instead of just being present in the moment. But here's the truth. The most attractive men are the ones who approach like they don't need anything. Not because they don't care, but because they're already full. Their self-worth isn't hanging in the balance of her reaction. They're not trying to get something. They're just showing up, seeing what's real, and letting the chips fall where they may. This is powerful because it puts you back in control of your emotions. You stop chasing reactions and start focusing on authenticity. You're not bending yourself to be liked. You're being yourself and letting her respond however she wants. That's strength. That's confidence. That's leadership. Think about it like this. If she doesn't like you, nothing is lost. You haven't failed. You haven't been rejected. You've just learned that she's not the right one for you, and that's fine. But if you go in needing her approval, you'll always walk away feeling smaller if things don't go your way. That's a trap you don't need to fall into anymore. Approach her like a man who has options, who knows his value, and who isn't defined by one interaction. That kind of energy is rare. And because it's rare, it gets noticed. You're not out here to prove anything. You're just giving her a chance to experience you, and whether she sees the value or not is entirely her decision. Either way, you walk away with your confidence intact, and that's what makes you powerful. 4. Flirt. Boldly, then pull back. Flirting isn't about throwing out as many compliments as you can, or trying to win her over with charm. It's about creating tension and intrigue, then pulling away before she gets too comfortable. The key to attraction isn't always in how much you give. It's in how much you don't give. When you flirt with a woman, do it with confidence. Don't hold back or play it safe. Let her know that you find her attractive, but don't give her everything at once. Too many guys think they need to constantly shower her with attention and compliments to get her hooked. But here's the thing. Excessive attention can come off as weak. It makes her feel like she's in control. And that's not how attraction works. Instead, flirt with boldness. Playfully tease her. Drop hints that you're interested, but don't go all in. Let her feel the tension. This is where the power lies. Pull back before she gets too comfortable. When she feels like she's about to win your attention, pull away. It could be by giving her space or suddenly focusing on something else. This creates uncertainty in her mind. She doesn't know where you stand. And that uncertainty drives curiosity. She starts wondering why you're not always available, why you're not always giving her compliments, why you're not giving her constant validation. She starts thinking, why isn't he chasing me? And before long, she'll start doing the chasing herself. Flirting boldly, then pulling back, creates an emotional roller coaster. It keeps her engaged, wondering when the next moment of connection will come. It's the push-pull dynamic that naturally builds attraction. But remember, don't go overboard. You're not playing games just for the sake of it. You're creating a real dynamic of interest and intrigue that keeps her guessing. The key is to strike that balance. You want her to feel the warmth of your attention, but also experience the chill of withdrawal. It's the mix of attention and distance that keeps things exciting. It shows her that you're not overly invested in her approval, but that you're also not emotionally unavailable. It creates an air of mystery and makes her want to earn your attention, rather than just receiving it without effort. Flirt boldly, but remember, less is more. Pull back just when she's starting to think she has you figured out. That's when the real attraction starts to build. 5. Challenge her instead of complimenting her. One of the biggest mistakes men make when they're trying to get a woman's attention is constantly complimenting her. It's an easy go-to, right? Compliment her beauty, her smile, her outfit, and you hope it will make her like you more. But here's the thing, excessive compliments can make you come off as needy, as if you're trying to get her to validate your feelings, and women don't want to be with a man who is emotionally dependent on them for approval. The better approach? Challenge her. You see, women aren't just attracted to men who make them feel good about themselves. They're attracted to men who keep them on their toes, who push them to think, and who don't just agree with everything they say. A little challenge creates a dynamic where she's drawn to you, wanting to know more, to figure you out. It taps into her desire for excitement and mystery. When you challenge her, you're showing that you're not afraid to stand your ground. You're not just agreeing with her to make her happy. You have your own opinions, your own beliefs, and you're willing to stand by them, even if it means disagreeing with her at times. This isn't about starting arguments for no reason. It's about not being afraid to question things, to spark deeper conversations that make her think. It's about showing her that you're not easily swayed by what she thinks or feels. When you challenge her, you invite her to see you as someone who doesn't just go along with the crowd. You're independent, and that's attractive. The more you push her to think critically or question her assumptions, the more you build attraction. Why? Because you're offering her something different. You're not just there to agree with her or make her feel good. You're someone she has to work for, someone who's worth earning. And women love that, because it taps into their desire for a man who is not only emotionally stable, but also intellectually stimulating. Now, this doesn't mean you should be a jerk or start challenging everything she says for the sake of it. There's a difference between healthy challenge and disrespect. You want to keep things light, playful, and engaging. The goal is to make her think, not to shut her down. For example, let's say she's talking about a show she really likes. Instead of simply nodding and saying, "Yeah, that's great," challenge her a bit. "Really? I never got into that show. What makes it so good? What's your favorite part?" By showing some curiosity, but also presenting a slight challenge, you're opening up the conversation for more depth. You're showing that you don't just take everything at face value. By challenging her, asking questions, debating ideas, offering different perspectives, you keep things interesting and make her feel like there's more to you than meets the eye. She won't just be interested in your looks or compliments. She'll be drawn to your intellect, your confidence, and your ability to challenge her in the best way possible. 6. Make her earn your interest. One of the most powerful things you can do when interacting with women is to not give away your interest too easily. Too many guys make the mistake of showing all their cards from the start, giving her attention, compliments, and validation right off the bat. But here's the issue. When you make it so easy for her to see that you're interested, you take away the mystery. You become predictable, and that's not attractive. Instead, make her work for it. Don't just hand over your interest freely. She should feel like she's earned it. This doesn't mean you need to be cold or play hard to get in a manipulative way. It simply means you don't give everything away at once. You hold your ground, stay a little reserved, and let her come to you. Think about it like this. Women are attracted to men who have their own lives, their own goals, and their own path. When you're not completely fixated on her, you signal that you have value outside of her approval. And that's exactly what makes you more appealing. By making her earn your interest, you force her to put in the effort. She starts to wonder, what does he like? Why isn't he all over me? And that curiosity can drive attraction. She won't feel entitled to your time or attention because she has to work to get it. She'll feel like she has to show you that she's worth your time, which is exactly the position you want her in. You don't have to be rude or distant. You just need to maintain your standards and boundaries. Show her that you're not easily swayed. Keep your focus on your own life, your own mission, and let her be part of it only if she proves she's deserving. This makes her work for your affection, your time, and your energy. This principle works because it shifts the power dynamic. When a woman knows she has to put in effort to get your attention, she'll start to value it more. You're not just handing her validation for no reason. She has to earn it by showing that she's a good match, someone who respects your boundaries and your time. Men who don't make women earn their interest risk falling into the trap of being seen as easily available. And while there's nothing wrong with being kind and attentive, there's a big difference between giving freely and making someone earn the right to be in your world. In the end, the goal is simple. If you make her work for your attention, your time, and your affection, she'll begin to value it more. She'll respect you more. And most importantly, she'll stay more interested because you didn't just hand her everything on a silver platter. 7. Leave before she gets comfortable. Let's be honest here. A lot of men have no problem being around a woman and giving her all their attention until they've completely worn themselves out. They stick around too long, becoming predictable, and then wonder why the attraction fades. But here's the hard truth. You need to leave before she gets comfortable. Now, I know this might sound counterintuitive. It's easy to think that the more time you spend with her, the more she'll like you. But that's exactly where most men mess up. They think that by always being there, constantly available, and never stepping away, they'll make the woman feel safe, secure, and interested. But no, women don't fall for men who cling. What happens when you overstay your welcome is that you start to lose your edge. You lose the mystery. You become just another guy in her life, and the attraction she might have felt in the beginning slowly fades away. This is the part where I need to wake you up. Being too available makes you forgettable. Instead, you want to leave while the interaction is still exciting, still fresh. This doesn't mean you walk away after a couple of minutes, leaving her confused or disrespected. No. It means you gauge the moment and leave while you're still a positive presence in her mind, before she starts to take you for granted. You need to create a bit of space between the times you see her, between the times you talk to her. Give her time to miss you. You've probably heard that absence makes the heart grow fonder, and it's true. When you leave her wanting more, she's left wondering when she'll get to see you again. That curiosity will keep her thinking about you. It keeps you in her mind, in a way that constant attention won't. The real problem is that many men are afraid of losing the woman, so they stick around too long, overtext, overcall, overvalidate. They think that by doing all that, they're increasing their chances. But the reality is, they're just pushing her further away. They're losing their own sense of value in the process. If you're the kind of guy who believes that constantly giving her more of your time and attention will somehow make her like you more, it's time to wake up. Respect your own time and energy. It's your most valuable resource. If you're always around, she's never going to learn to appreciate you. She's never going to work for your time. She'll start seeing you as someone who's always going to be there, and that's when attraction begins to fizzle out, Leaving before she gets comfortable forces her to do the work. It shifts the dynamic, reminding her that you're a man with other things going on. You're not available all the time. And that, my friend, is how you keep the fire alive. You're a man of value, not someone who's waiting around for her to validate your existence. Wake up, start leaving before she gets too comfortable, and watch how the attraction grows. Alright, let's wrap this up with something you need to hear. If you've been chasing after her approval, constantly texting, complimenting, or trying to be the perfect guy, you've been doing it all wrong. Here's the truth. Trying to win a woman's approval too hard is one of the fastest ways to lose her interest. Women don't want a man who's desperate for validation. They're attracted to men who have their own lives, who are confident, and who make them earn their attention. Now let me throw something even more controversial your way. If you approach a woman and she turns you down, it's not the end of the world. Seriously, you haven't lost anything. It's not a reflection of your worth. In fact, it might even be a blessing in disguise, saving you time and energy. The truth is, you're not for everyone, and that's perfectly fine. The right woman will be drawn to your confidence, your independence, and the fact that you're not trying to force anything. So if you've been stuck in the cycle of seeking her approval, stop. Shift the dynamic, focus on yourself. Don't make her the center of your world. Remember, you're the prize. Women will respect and value you more when they know they have to earn your attention. Drop a comment below and share your experiences. If you've tried these tactics, I'd love to hear how it's gone for you. I'll personally reach out, connect, and help you out in any way I can.